What's going on, good people? Rich here.
School in the building.
Ray P here.
Back at it you again with another episode of the Culture Garden Podcast. We got a special guest with us today. My brother, D Good. What's happening with you, man?
Man, what's good, man?
Big guy.
I want to thank y'all. Man, it's a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure letting me be on the show today.
Absolutely. Definitely happy to have you. Man. Just a quick background. D Good is a former college athlete, Division I, former professional athlete. He played at UC, had some records there, the whole nine. His resume runs deep, as well as Goody Foundation or the Mama Goody Foundation and Goody Elite flag football team, which I help coach with. We've been doing that, I don't know how long.
Shoot, about to be a fifth year.
Yeah, so we've been doing that for a minute. So a lot of stuff around the community. He requested to be on the episode. He requested to be on the podcast. So naturally, with like I said, he's an athlete. So me and school were thinking, what kind of sports movie could we do? Things like that. And he was like, Carlito's way, like that's movie got a lot of lessons in it. So good. Yes. Like you said, like let's talk about Carlito's Way, the lessons in it. Like what made you pick this movie?
Man, I just remember when I watched it back in high school. It was like, dang, like it's teaching some real life lessons. And the time I grew as to the age I am now, like, dang, like that really puts a lot of stuff makes sense.
Yes.
With a lot of things. And at the same time, it's his own like gangster love story. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I got some stuff about the love part of it, but because I know what you needed. Ray P.
Yes.
I know Carlito's Way isn't necessarily your thing.
It's not, but you know what? I could do a mob movie. I could do shoot 'em up, but I don't know. Like this was boring to me, and I've seen it. Yeah,
that's what I kind of want to ask you.
Holding me.
Yeah, we're not too deep in the conversation, but you said it was boring, and I'm curious. No, I do want to continue on that. I want to. There were some parts that were just like riveting, I guess, for lack of better terms. The suspense level, things like that. What? So you all the way left on this film?
I am. Like I have some scenes that are like, oh, that was good.
Do you think? Well, real quick before I get into school, but pause. Do you think is that a gender thing?
No, I like guns. I got guns.
No, not that. I'm talking about the whole gangster movie. Child. What movie were we talking about? Oh, man, and we were a thin line between love and hate, where we had the distinction. Like I think women like this film more than men do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Women think that's a classic. Do you think this is kind of the same situation? Because I don't know too many people, men specifically, that would say this movie's boring.
No, I don't know. It just wasn't keeping me like on several attempts. I just wasn't like glued to the screen. And I wasn't busy. So
let me ask the question. How do you feel about Pacino? Pacino didn't, there's nothing there, huh?
Al Pacino is Al Pacino. So I don't think that I've ever seen him not perform well. So he did his thing, I thought. I mean, it's his early 90s. What, 93?
Yeah, 93.
So, I mean, he had some shit under his belt by that time. So, I mean, I thought he did well in the role. The only performance I was a little surprised by is I don't remember Sean Penn looking like that back in the day. Like unrecognizable.
Well, that was intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was intentional for this film. It was his idea to even have the receding hairline for Kleinfeld and things like that. But yeah, we'll get into all of them. We'll get into some stats in the film. But before we do, school, I know we had a unique experience with this film because we share movies all the time. We've been doing that our whole lives, like literally since we were kids. And this was one, for some reason, I thought school had seen. Like I just he randomly hit me one day and I'm like, yeah, man, I just got finished watching Carlito's Way, man. What a movie. I said, what? Like, you never seen that? Like, I felt like I failed him as a big brother.
He
like,
kept saying that, like, I think I failed you.
Like, I automatically assume you watch that because that's just one you got to have under your belt. Like, you just got to, that's one of those movies you got to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I agree to the fact that, especially anyone that I've asked, especially men that I've ran across, You seen Carlito's Way? Nah, what? You gotta see Carlito's Way. I ain't gonna get them too hard, but you gotta see Carlito's Way.
Yeah. So we'll get into some quick stats. It was released November 12th, 1993. So it recently turned this week. Actually, it's just turned 29 years old. Directed by Brian De Palma. He also directed The Untouchables and Scarface. He was hesitant to take the job because he didn't want to make another movie about a Latin gangster a la Scarface. But the script kind of convinced him, which the script has some holes. There's a lot of things that don't make sense to me. I was saying, to me, out of all the films we've done, this is probably has my longest list of things that bother me. But it's all from a character perspective. It's not from a film perspective. Like, you know what I mean? As far as the making of the film. It was written by Edwin Torres because he wrote the novels Carlito's Way and After Hours. David Koepp, he was the screenplay, David Koepp wrote the screenplay. The movie's based on After Hours, the book, but they used the name from Carlito's Way, that novel, because Scorsese was going to have a movie out called After Hours, and they didn't want to confuse it. It made $63.8 million off a budget of $30 million, and it is currently streaming on Tubi. Quick awards for it: 1994 Golden Globes. Penelope Ann Miller and Sean Penn were nominated for Best Performance by Actress and Actor in a Supporting Role. Neither one of them won, and neither one of them were nominated for an Oscar for this film.
Which surprised me. I was shocked.
It was kind of shocking that neither one. Usually one of them, especially Sean Penn. I think Sean Penn should have been nominated.
It was crazy in this, man.
The cast: Al Pacino as Carlito Brigante. What you feel about cultural appropriation, man? Like, just these, anytime an actor of non-descent plays,
because this is the
somebody.
second time. It's the second time.
Yeah, he did Scarface.
Director,
Same director, man. Like,
and the critics have said the same thing about Al Pacino in this role. The accent, they all hate his accent.
yeah, there was some language in the script. Like, originally they wrote the way they wrote the language. Like, they were like
It's offensive.
Yeah, it was offensive to people on set. Like, and they were like, "Come on, man, like, y'all chilling, y'all tripping. Like, at least change it." So it was actually for Pachanga, Luis Guzman, who's his character.
Now, I love the fact that they listened. You know, this early 90s, so they didn't have to listen. You know, right now that's what people do. They listen when we talk. But
but not even then. Like, you got stuff like the Ten Commandments. You got stuff like Troy, the Mexican, Tom Cruise playing the Mexican, and all this other stuff. Like, did that affect this film for you, or does it? What?
You said the Mexican, and I don't think that qualifies.
Why not?
Because it's about a gun and it ain't about a Mexican.
Oh, my bad. I ain't never.
You ain't never seen the Mexican?
Nah,
I've seen the Mexican.
Okay.
It's
Look, see,
gun, so
correct.
Yeah.
I got corrected. He said,
let that live, man. That's my guy. I can't let him go out like that.
He said the Mexican ain't even about a Mexican.
Yeah.
Why they call it the Mexican?
It's about a gun. The gun is it's a good
A
movie.
Mexican gun?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I guess I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's nice. It got James, what's his name? Soprano. Why can't I remember his name? Tony Soprano.
James Gandolfini?
Yes, he's a character in it.
All right. Well, I stand corrected, y'all. Mexican ain't they ain't out here robbing these. But anyway, does that affect your performance or affect this movie? Do you look at it a certain way because of stuff like that? Good. We'll start with you.
Nah, I really don't. They've been doing it for years, even having dudes playing women's parts, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is how they do business, but it also, just the story alone gets you to, it's just like reading a book, but you're just watching it, you know what I mean? Well,
the Pacino's one of the few that I think can get away with that. I don't know. When I say get away, I say that lightly. But for some reason, I think he was able to do it because people don't talk about that in Scarface. I don't think I realized that was a big deal in Scarface until I was a grown adult. I do think, especially with the forefront of, because I know we talked about it on this podcast, like British Black actors playing American roles. Like, I think that's kind of, would you say that's in the same light, Rachel?
Maybe a little bit, but not all the way. A little bit. I could see where the correlation could be drawn. Yeah.
Does it bother you at all?
Well, if it's Black people, yes. Yes and no. I don't know what the cross-cultural, cross-national acting pool looked like in 93. Whereas now, yes, I'm sure you could find a Latinx person to play Carlito, you know.
Yeah.
But no, Al Pacino didn't really take away. I knew what he was doing. I actually had to Google. I forgot. Like, is he Italian and something else, or what? Like, what's going on here? Because I literally couldn't remember. And then I had Scarface in mind too, like that. He also played a Latinx character. So, yeah, but I could see where the argument could be made.
No doubt, no doubt.
It goes back to that combo we had though with Queen and Slim, man. It's some niggas nigga, like just those living those experiences, man. It's just
it takes it to another level.
It takes it to another level.
Makes it more authentic for sure. Going on with the cast, we have Sean Penn as Kleinfeld, David Kleinfeld, the attorney. I think that he stole. I mean, incredible. If anybody knows anything about Sean Penn, he's a very intense actor to say the least. But he's I don't want to say saves the movie, but he's definitely the bright spot in this film.
Yes,
more so than Penelope Ann Miller, who played Gail. Like I was saying, she was cool.
I was so surprised when I seen her nominated for anything. I was like, "What? For real?"
That was shocking.
That shocked me. Like I was, whoa.
Did you? What do you think about Gail in this film? Like, did you like that character? Did you like her? I guess because my issue with it was I don't know if it's the character fault or if it's the story's fault. And I'm trying to figure out which one I didn't like more. Like, did they not give her enough to do, or was she just annoying as a person?
I feel like it was just a story for real, because it's like it goes off the way, just with a man out in the streets like that and the life he living, you also neglecting at home. You know what I mean? So at the same time, she was acting out. Cause he was still trying to do this and do that, but at the same time, bro, you too old for all that. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what this film is basically about. Just the whole idea of when is it time to get out, and can you get out in time, or can you get out in that kind of world, in that kind of game? Like I said, there's a lot of things about this film that bother me, and it has to do with that because I think Carlito. I don't know. When you're from that life, you're from that life. But when you see your exit, you gotta take it, and he just tripped out a lot. John Leguizamo as Benny Blanco. He turned down the role 4 times before actually agreeing to.
Today he could have played.
Yeah, he could have played Carlito today. But he actually turned it down 4 times. He finally agreed once he was able to improvise a lot of his lines. Ingrid Rogers as Steffi and Luis Guzman as Pachanga. I'm really curious to see. Yeah. Classic or not?
I'm gonna say yeah. It means so much to hip hop. This movie, I'm a whole fan. Like,
but so does Belly. Is Belly a classic?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What Belly do to you?
No, I don't.
All right, keep on track. My bad. But yeah. Carlitos, you saying the classic hip hop culture. Absolutely.
Yeah, it means a lot to the culture.
Volume 2, shout out to Hov.
I would definitely say it's a classic. Definitely. Definitely wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for Volume 2.
Okay. Rachel, what about you?
Culturally relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see why niggas like it. Y'all say it's a classic. Not for me. It's not in my top or faves or things to revisit. But no.
No, she said all that to me. Good. What about you? Classic or not?
Come on,
man. Classic, man. Yeah. Classic.
I gotta agree with them. It's not, man. I was just talking to Ray P, telling her that doing this in podcast form and looking at these films from a certain angle, really makes you think about a lot of stuff that you really enjoyed, and you look at it because I'm looking at it from. Man, there's a lot of holes in this film. Yes. And that's just the issue with it. Absolutely, I think it's a classic, culturally relevant. Like I said, anybody that knows me knows how I feel about Hov, Volume 2. A lot of these lines, especially when you hear them word for word, stuff like that. But is it a top 5 Pacino performance? No. Is it a top 5 gangster film? No. Like, you know what I mean? So it holds a place for me, but it's not the first thing I'm going to if I'm going to that genre.
I'm gonna take one of your lines. It's damn near
a YouTube movie. Yeah,
it's this close, but it's one of those YouTube movies that when you start playing scenes, you're like, man, fuck it, I'm about to put this on. That's exactly how I put it.
I will say this. It hurts that it's 2.5 hours long.
Yes,
but there are certain scenes that are pretty smooth to get through. But then it hits that lull where you're just like, all right, for this next 15 minutes, if I got to go do something else, I'm doing it and I'm not coming back. You know what I'm saying? But if you in that stretch, if you in that little 20-minute pocket, then it's got you glued. So
it's like, not to go back, but that Gail situation, like what made me upset with the whole Gail situation was you knew who he was when you met him. Like women, never mind. Go ahead. I love you.
yeah, okay.
And I love the theme of one of the things in this movie of not really being self-aware enough to know how much weight you pull anymore. Mm-hmm. I think that's a thing everybody goes through as they get older. Once you hit that, there's a certain level of fame that everybody has and everybody hits. And you either keep it and it plateaus, or it either like falls off, or it stays the same, whatever the case may be. But if you're a legend, you're a legend. And you saw that, like Carlito had that when he came out, like his cousin, like the way he came through, like, yeah, they gonna freak when they see you. The way Benny Blanco greeted him, like, and Carlito was unaware, like I think he was in the car with his cousin, like a legend, like nobody knows who I am out here. That reminded me of a moment, like maybe a month ago, me and Good we were talking about something. I was at a UC game or down at the stadium, and they got all these billboards up of former teams that made it to ball games and stuff. And I remember I was like, "Did you see that and stuff like that?" And I was like, "Do you still like go?" He was like, "Bro, I don't like know me down there." I'm like, "Bro, like you a legend. Like that happens in this." And like I said, he's sitting right next to me, so I know he can relate as well. Like there's certain things where you don't even know how much weight and pull you have in this film, and I thought that was interesting because once again, that's part of the reason why Carlito didn't do what he should have done and cut people off, you know, got out with his exit plan and all. It really pisses me off, y'all, about Carlito and what he didn't do.
A big part of that is that 5 years he missed too. Like you got to figure, like it ain't like he was gone for 5 months. He was gone for 5 years. Ain't no way they remember me. They still talk what your boy saying Paid in Full. They still gonna remember me. Like that's real. For 5 years.
But I think it's also like I said, we talking about themes of the film. Carlito got a second chance on life. Carlito's supposed to be going for 30 of them.
Yeah.
30 of them. Got out with 5.
Shout out to Dave.
And I believed him off jump when he said he was done. Mm-hmm. Like something about, maybe not in the courtroom scene, but as soon as they got outside and he told Kleinfeld, like, I wasn't lying, I'm really done. I knew for sure, like, this dude really trying to walk the straight and narrow. But he still got that. I can't survive out here if I don't keep that same shit about me in me. Yeah. So he was trying to walk both lines, and you can't do that in this game. He even told Kleinfeld that. Yeah. So go ahead.
And that ego's a mug, man.
It is.
I mean, especially like you've been in jail for 5, and you get out like, man, I didn't get the experience like I want to experience. But not come to realization, like, man, bro, it's your time to step back and let the young bloods get it, you know what I mean? But
and he I feel like he kept trying to slowly do that, but they kept, pulling him back in.
That's another perfect thing. That's another theme in this movie or lesson. Like when it's still time to go out gracefully. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like everybody got to, you got to pass it on to that next generation and the next torch. And I don't know. Carlito couldn't see that. It was fun. It's funny that Carlito couldn't see him in Benny. Mm-hmm. Did you see him in there? Do you think they were the same person? You think Carlito was that 20 years ago, as Salsa said?
I was gonna say, well, what's the face said? That's you 20 years ago. Yeah, I could see that. Because when you the man. You know what I'm saying? And Benny was up and coming, and he felt like he was that nigga. He had this little entourage. He throwing money, like, let me talk to you. And he essentially, I got that he idolized Carlito. So he probably operates through much of the folklore of what Carlito was doing pre him doing those 5 years. So yes, and I could see where that was offensive, quote unquote, to Carlito, because I hate when motherfuckers be like, yeah, that remind me of you. Shut up. No, it don't. I can see that, you know.
That go to what Good just said. That ego will always tell you that, but Benny didn't like. Benny came about that whole situation respectfully, for real. Other than the way
he did.
Yeah, other than the way he was talking to his people, it's like he came about it in a way that wasn't like, man, Carlito played him. Like Carlito was mad disrespectful.
He played him like a shorty.
Yes, that's in my best scenes. One of my favorite scenes is their first interaction. Like it goes back to you exactly what you just said. He idolized Carlito. Like he was mad disrespectful to the server. But when Carlito came and said that's not how it's going down, he was like, okay, I'll pay the tag. You think he's that type of nigga? You can tell what type of nigga Benny was. Like, what?
Right.
I ain't paying, fuck you, fuck him. But he seen it was this your spot now? All right, we get the man his money. Like,
yeah,
he fucks with Carlito heavy. So I get mad every time. Like, Carlito, why you play him like that? Sheesh,
man. Carlito, like
ego.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like even goes back to like shoot, like we was talking about being a legend and all that stuff. Like even catch myself like always praising young cats because at the end of the day, when you getting old, they're the ones telling the story. They're the ones looking out for you. Like, and that's some life lessons that need to be taught. You got like even in the rap industry when they was hating on this young wave coming in, but the old heads figuring out this young wave making a lot more money I would.
Yes,
they can help you out.
That's a fact.
You feel me? And Carlito, that ego, man.
It goes to a lesson my mom always say. Something my mom always say. People may forget your name, but they will never forget how you treat them, and that's a fact. 100. So,
Ray P, you know what that just reminded me of? Game of Thrones. You know, what the song's gonna say about us, Ray P? You gotta make sure you know.
What's the song gonna say?
You know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure we really treat that young generation right. That's a real thing. Like,
so you like AI?
You said what?
So you like AI? Good.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like
he embraces the young hoopers.
Yeah, I gotta embrace it. They're the ones getting a piece of the pie for us. They really get to express themselves as much as back when we was playing. You couldn't really express yourself. You couldn't really.
College,
you didn't get paid in college. You couldn't really do the things. These cats got a way of entrepreneur. Like the streaming stuff is crazy. YouTubing, they can do that. They got their followers. Once they get a follower, they can get a Nike deal or a Gatorade deal or whatever deal and make money if they don't make it. So it's like it's just crazy and it's just beautiful to see. And you don't get a lot of old heads that embrace that because they over here like, man, I wish I was there. And it's like, you help pave that way for that wave to get what they got. You know what I mean?
The crazy thing about that is too, to go even further, they love it. Like the young generation, if an OG gives them some praise, like you feel me? That bigs them up so much. Like, oh, I got the respect of that. Like everybody's been there where you got somebody, a mentor, elder, somebody you looked up to. Maybe they pass, whatever the case may be, but or past a prime or whatever, not active in whatever you looked up to them for, but they still around. They still got game. You still see them as you did when you was a kid. If you shit on them, they gonna remember that. They gonna remember that even harder than the love. So it's important.
I mean, look how sad Cole was when he thought he let Nas down.
That's real.
Wrote a song.
And I wrote a whole song. He really felt that. Like, damn, I can't believe I let Nas. Like, I felt him. Like, he went through that for a minute. So that's real important. But you kicked it off with that scene. Rachel. I mean, excuse me. What? That was a slip of the tongue. I said Rachel instead of Rachel.
You all right?
Hey man, talking too fast.
Great champs, man.
What about you? What you got for your best scenes?
So I'll start with the courtroom scene just because Carlito was really carrying on, and I love extra shit. And so he really was geeked to be getting out like that. And then leading out to the front steps, because again, being extra, thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. Like, all right, now Dr. King, but yeah. So I'll start with that.
Can I just follow up real quick and just say, let me get out. Let me drop 25 years off my sentence.
No, let your homeboy do it.
Yeah,
not only that,
or whoever the case, and the court got to apologize. Oh, I'm getting I'm acting a whole ass.
Yep.
Had to justified.
Acting an ass. Shout out to Carlito. Good. What's the scene you got that you want to throw in there?
Shoot, I mean the ending was mine, man.
The ending,
starting
from
it was a whole foreshadow, like, you know what I mean? At the end of when going to the train, how it all went down. You feel me? Can I talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just the whole, like, you went from the beginning, he was respecting this man, and then at the end, you worried about other people gonna get you. But it's the young blood that got you. You know what I mean?
Up-and-comer. And not to mention the person right next to you.
Switched it up on you just cause it's about that money in that way.
And I wrote down Pachinko always play a little fucking snitch ass. Double cross a nigga. Always.
Yeah. He would never be trusted. He would not.
Yeah. The only thing the beginning of this movie really was missing was the you want to know the stop. You want to know how I got here? Missing from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's really it. Yeah. I have, just to start out with the pickup scene with the cousin. That was the first, I think. That moment, man. Like I said, a lot of all the red flags are going off. You can really tell Carlito hasn't missed a beat from being away for so long. Like, he was picking up on everything.
Yeah.
A little slow to react. I was really pissed off at the cousin not being smart enough to recognize what was going on. Oh man, the beard's further down there, man. Like, oh, like that's how are you in 30? How you in possession of 30 grand? Who trusted you with this bread? They deserve to be dead. They deserve.
I felt like it was a setup.
It was.
I mean, I know from them, but I mean, even from the boss, because he said your boss is dead, now you are too. But like, I felt like, you know, that this corny Green, just like in Dead Presidents, this Green character is now in charge of $30,000, and you was gonna say him by himself? Like, are you crazy? No. So you had to be trying to get over on him too. Like, so what's the count short? Low key, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that the quote unquote friends was setting him up from the jump, you know, with the broken bathroom. Okay.
Yeah, especially with that door moving back and forth.
Right. But I felt like even his boss was lightweight shiesty. I don't know. That's just me.
Probably.
Yeah, I love the scene. I wrote it down, but it pisses me off just like it does you. Like, it was so many clues, and he kept seeing them, but he just didn't act.
Who, Carlito?
Yeah.
I think he knew what kind of situation he was in. Like, he had his cousin obviously had got shit for brains, so he in there by himself. You know what I mean? You got somebody in the bathroom that's unidentified. You got the main dude that's talking. You got the two dudes at the pool. Like, it's really 4 against 1. So you got to play it cool and like hope I can shoot my way out this shit. Yeah. And that's exactly what he did. So that's the only pass I give you. But man, it's got.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at him. I did think he moved slow. But I felt like he also was trying to see what he can do and trying to figure out what everybody else had going on too, because he knew that it was about to be a shootout.
Yeah. I mean, taking their attention and putting it on himself. That was smart. Like, I guess.
Yeah, because that was all plotting. We got another scene?
So I put. Oh, sorry, guys. I always do this. I put his first night out. First night out. Just talking to Dave, letting Dave, thanking Dave for pretty much saving his life. It was very important for him to do that because he let the ladies, they weren't even talking to the ladies. Like, he had to let his mans know, like, you just took 25 years off my sentence, and I'm really done with this shit. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, an escape plan.
Yeah,
75K.
75K.
This was 1975. I got to keep remembering that. So a lot of times when I watch this film, like 1975, not 93.
That was equivalent to $415,000.
Mm-hmm.
So he was gonna be all right, I guess.
Rachel, got another scene?
When they were at the Copa Cabana and Gail is dancing with the Italian gentleman. She was getting it in. Like, I appreciated how cool Carlito was, but then you really start quote unquote to see that Kleinfeld is on some other shit. Like, oh, this nigga's one on drugs. And two, and two, he's dangerous because he's unpredictable. And even though Carlito was egging him a little bit, he didn't know how to be cool, and it put them in a potentially very dangerous situation. But so I like the way that whole thing played out.
It reminded me a lot of the scene in Goodfellas when he shot Spider. Like, everybody was kind of fucking with them, like the whole crew, like, yeah, there you go, that a boy Spider, like, stand up for yourself. And then Joe Pesci's character shoots him in the foot, and like, damn, what's wrong with you? Like, that's the same thing I got from that scene where it was funny. I love the way Carlito handled it, like you said, just playing it cool. Like, her hands, like, those are her hips. Like, bro, you tripping. Yeah. That's my girl for one. Obviously, you see me here, I'm cool with it. Like, ain't so no thing. Cool. Right, I'm dancing. She want to dance, nigga. I'm old. Nigga, I want to see you dance. Like, do your thing.
Rewatching this movie, I noticed that Kleinfeld got a lot of his balls from Carlito. Him being around Carlito gave him that, where he thought he was untouchable. Like, I guarantee him getting Carlito out was obviously for his benefit, but a lot for his benefit. Because Buddy,
you hang that over. You can hang that over his head anytime you want to. You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
But a dude like Kleinfeld will.
But Carlito did enough. Carlito did. You can tell Carlito would not fuck with Kleinfeld. He couldn't. But
Carlito was brother.
Carlito was loyal.
Mm-hmm.
He was loyal,
that shit. Man.
There was a scene, I believe, when he was talking to Gail, and he mentioned that, like, I can't do that. Like, that's not me. Like, I can't. Like, certain things, you can't even look at yourself or sleep at night if you don't go by your code. That was his downfall to a sense too.
Yeah. Did y'all feel like Kleinfeld had a thing for Gail?
I think Kleinfeld was so out of it that he would have he would have went for sure. Yeah, he would have went for sure, but I don't think it was on some.
He was doing enough coke and paranoid for everybody.
Yeah, he was out here. He was out here.
Yeah, it was just another example of, like, gotta let cats go, man.
That's a big fact. Listen, we're gonna get to all that and things about you. Trust me. You got another scene that you want to throw out there? I know I got one ready. The Laylene scene, just showing, like I said, that knowledge. Carlito know what's going on. You know what time it is. Like, I've already heard on the street, you was gone for some years, like I was. Now you home, you ain't home. Now I'm home, because when I love how he asked him, like, how'd you get out? Oh, same as you. Because listen, if I got 25 years shaved off, I'm telling everybody exactly how that shit went down. I'll be drinking to that story until forever. But he knew exactly what was going on. I love the way he, how you fuck the only people that ever cared for you. That's a big thing, like that loyalty, like. Bro, I would have done anything for you. Like, how do you do that to me?
My favorite thing about that scene is Backstabbers is playing the whole scene.
Mm-hmm.
The
whole scene, Backstabbers is playing. And Virgo Martin.
Is it Viggo
Mortensen?
Viggo Mortensen?
Okay. Killed that scene.
Yeah, he did.
Killed that scene. Everything about that scene, man. My favorite thing is he, like you said, if you be 30 years and I ask you, how'd you get home? The first thing you're going to say is, nigga, bruh, I read this book. I found this. You know what I mean? Like, that nigga's, where's you did, man? He thought he was just going to accept that.
And then you ASAP breaking up deals.
And I got a deal, though.
All work and stuff like that.
Like, who would hire you?
And I love the realistic part of, like, listen, I'm in the gang game. Like, I can't get out here in a wheelchair and I can't work for the post office. I can't do no regular job. Yeah. Like, this is what I do. So I really am useless. Like, shoot me, kill me. Yeah. Like, niggas, what he say? I can't walk.
I can't walk.
Yeah, man, I can't do that. I shit my pants every day. I can wear a fucking diaper. Shoot me.
Mm-hmm. And that goes back to Carlito and that loyalty, because he felt for him. He ain't gonna kill that nigga. He should have. Yeah, he didn't. I'm going to my next scene. I don't care what y'all talking about. Kleinfeld visiting Tony, man. That's
the visit?
Yes. That's one of my favorite scenes when he tells that man.
Don't say it, man. He said some off the wall shit in that scene that I hope you don't repeat. Let's just put it like that.
He was clouded at man.
Yeah.
But the best part is Kleinfeld sitting there, coked up, trying to convince this man he didn't take that $1 million. Like, no, I tried to give him $1 million. Shut the fuck up. You're lying to me. Like, stop. Yeah. Like, there's nothing worse than that than when someone is lying to your face, you know they're lying, and they keep trying to lie. You're like, come on, bro. You're not about to tell that man you're going to be with the crabs, the eels, all that. Like, quit playing with me, bro. You going to bust me out. I'm a lawyer. Fuck you. You ain't no lawyer. You're a dopehead, nigga.
And if that's $1 million, I did your thing. 1975, that's 5.3 million.
That's 5.3 million. Come on, bro.
To deliver a message, to do a payoff, and you ain't do it, you kept it? Nah,
come on, man.
Crazy.
What do you think? Like, that's the crazy part. You really thought that you was just gonna come in here and say he didn't accept it, and Tony Dude was gonna be like, oh, okay.
Man, my boy Tom used to say some of the realest shit ever. Anytime somebody did some stupid shit, he always had the same question. Like, how do you think that was gonna end?
Straight up.
Like, in your brain, how did you think this was gonna end? Like, when you was doing this dumb shit. Like, and that's one of them things that I was like, how did Kleinfeld? But like you said, he was delusional. Kleinfeld thought whatever Kleinfeld was up to, because remember, what was his name? The DA. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But he kept saying, like, when you went away, Carlito, like, he made a name for himself with the mob people, stuff like that. So I know you said earlier, like, Carlito was his, I think Kleinfeld kind of lost it before that. Like, he really thought he was untouchable. And he's a lawyer. He thought he was a lawyer.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that the Carlito is the
Norwalk. That was his name, Norwalk.
I think him getting Carlito and keeping him by his side was the official stamp. Like, now I'm really untouchable. Like, I've done all that, but now I'm untouchable. But this is my bad. I wrote this down. When your boy Kleinfeld told him about breaking him out, he says, "Oh, me and my team are diligently working on your appeal. I ain't talking about no fucking appeal. I'm talking about you busting me out of here. To contract the guys, the guns, the pits, they already dug. Huh? Get me out of here." He went on it, man. Sheesh.
You got any more scenes, Rachel?
I really don't. Maybe Carlito seeing Gail for the first time at the strip club. Well, was seeing her at the strip club. Which I thought, like, she was whack. Even when she put on that whole little extra little performance for him, like, that's it.
And I was sorry because them dudes came up with us all on her team.
They would.
Yeah, like for that.
Like, for that? I said for that.
They said they did the thing, man. She did the thing.
Can we talk about my favorite scene in the whole movie?
Please.
One of the most disrespectful scenes in cinema history.
Yes, I already know it.
School will attest to this, man. I randomly would just text him this link on YouTube of that scene and not say anything about it, just get weak. Because that was some of the most disrespectful things like that were ever said to somebody, done to somebody. And it really made me feel Benny Blanco had every right to do what he had to do. And that was Carlito's way more once. But the scene I'm talking about is the altercation about Steffi that turned into the back and forth and really wasn't about Steffi at all. It was about Carlito and his pride versus the new generation and that coming to a head. Just by the tone and the verbiage that Carlito used, when Sasso said, like you mentioned earlier, Rachel, this is you 20 years ago, immediately, never me. Like, he don't know nothing about Benny. Yeah. He just think Benny a punk because he's seen him talking shit to treating people bad or whatever the case is, which he may be. But he dogged that man from jump and just had no regard for him. Like, I love how the scene starts. He's eating the steak with Pachanga, you know. It's a problem with Steffi. She's fucking Kleinfeld in the bathroom. What's the problem? Like, good for him. Like, Benny's girls. Who, him? Who? The way he leaned in. Who? Benny, who? Like, he's no from jump. Oh, that guy. Fuck him. She was Steffi now. Or she with Dave now.
She with Dave now.
Send the champagne back. The way Benny comes over and try to, maybe there's a misunderstanding. Like, like, maybe I don't understand. Maybe I don't remember the last time I blew my nose either. You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck are you? I'm supposed to remember you.
Hey,
like,
talking cash.
Who the fuck are you? I'm supposed to remember you. You think you like me? You ain't nothing like me. I'm not gonna repeat that whole scene because it's some shit that is not correct to be saying. Called him a punk, told him to go snatch a purse, told him to get lost. Like, son, really? Yeah. Like, who are you talking to? I think everybody here can agree. anybody talks to any of us, who the fuck is you talking to?
It's not going.
Right, like ASAP.
Nice.
And you eating your steak, chewing on it all out. Like, why you trying to sum me?
Handling this business, man.
He said you the equivalent of thinking you was like the last time I blew my nose, pretty much. Like that's all. That's what you were.
Who are you that I should remember you? Maybe I don't remember the last time I blew my nose neither. Like, come on.
But he also said, and this is a generational thing. It's no matter what the sport is, or no matter what the topic is, the older generation always had it harder than the younger generation. Y'all got it so easy. It's just as old as time. It happens. It passed on generation to generation, and you always say yourself you ain't gonna be that person. You end up being that person. Like, back in our day, it always happens. And Carlito had that moment. Like, who you been? I've been with made people, connected people. Who you been with? Like, Carlito's age was the golden era. You know what I'm saying to him? So there's nothing you can tell me to make you think I'm supposed to automatically respect you.
Yeah, he called him the J.P. Morgan of the smack business. So that lets you know what type of money Carlito was touching. Like,
but what really got Carlito done up was continuing with that scene. He ain't killed Benny.
Yeah.
You in that world, and it goes to the scene where they, right after they killed Tony T and his son. It goes to that when Carlito told Dave, like, you're not a lawyer anymore, you're a gangster now.
Yes.
Like, gave him that speech about the rules and this shit. Like, you can't learn them late. School can't teach you. Like, you in this world now. So he knows that. He even mentioned it in the voiceover. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do. But he lets Benny go. He knew. He should have known at that moment I'm dead.
I wrote down, just to touch on that just a little bit, as jump into quotes. A favor will kill you faster than a bullet. And
first quote I had written down. That's some real right there.
And it wound up, well, it would have.
That favor did kill you by bullet, because you spared his life, and mind how the tables turn.
Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Gotta let that thing fly, because at the end of the day, shoot, that fly gonna get right back in the house.
That's
right. I gotta go.
Not only that, the people underneath you. You saw how Pachanga and the other dude looked at him like, what? Like, they were shocked. Like, what you talking about? Like, they gonna look at you a certain way. Like, oh, he losing.
And they did. And that's why they did what they did.
Yeah. Pachanga weak out here. You got any other scenes that you want to talk about? I got a couple questions for y'all.
The only other scene I would probably mention besides the ending is just the Tony T scene. Just
the breakout scene.
Just how Carlito didn't see that coming. Like, that's probably the best acting Al Pacino did to me. Is when he heard him killing Tony T, and he's like, "No, you killed us!" Like, he told him, like, "You just killed us." Like, sheesh, my God. Man. But go ahead.
Good. I'll start with you. Would you have helped Dave Kleinfeld break Tony out of jail?
Nah. Hell nah. What the fuck you think? Well, that's your problem. You better figure it out like I had to figure it out, guys.
Because I don't understand, man. There's loyalty and then there's that. Yeah. You feel me? There's loyalty and there's that. Like, Ray P, you helping?
He felt beholden.
But are you helping? If you in that same situation, not just regular schmegular life, like, you won't because of this person.
I don't know. I'm going to say no. But am I, like, involved low key? Like, am I going to do a little something? Am I going to be lookout? Maybe, probably.
I'll do something.
Just something.
I'm
not getting on that boat, but I'm going to do something. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to check the fucking lighthouse. Every time it's been, I'm going to do something. I'm not going to get on there. I ain't going to leave you out to dry, but I'm not getting on that boat.
That's what I was basically going to say. I'm going to say no, but you can guilt me into doing something, because you're going to bring up that 25 years and nigga, I ain't doing that, but I'll do something.
But I'll do something. Exactly.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. I ain't going to be nowhere near that shit.
Where them niggas you been running with? Like,
man.
All these 5 years I've been gone, where they at?
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I'm still gone.
Yeah. I ain't even supposed to be here.
Exactly. So, literally.
But I also do think Carlito was also knew, like, that's another thing. He knew something fishy was gonna happen. Like, man, coked out.
This whole movie,
doing something. It was like, man, like, My father would have been like, man, you can't trust no drug guy. You can't trust no coke kid. You just can't. I was like, bro, you tripping. Like,
hey, go ahead.
Hell no, I ain't getting on this boat. But what I will do is, if you need bail money, I got you.
Whatever the case may be. And can we just talk about real quick how dumb the idea was to begin with? And unrealistic of the chance of like even happening.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out how he got in that water before. Like before when he was in there, Tony T was in there. How did you get in there?
Like anybody that comes up to you and say, yo, well, I got this idea, we're gonna rescue my man's off a buoy on Rikers Island. Like, that's crazy, yo.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Like
even in 75, that's crazy.
That's nuts. Yeah. Like just from the temperature of the water, we're not even talking about the chance of actually pulling it out. Like it's just insane.
Trying to tell him, like, nigga, that shit is not gonna work.
This ain't Prison Break.
Yeah.
You gotta have a plan tattoo on your back.
And the fact that Jackson helped him, man. The little black security guard.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Jackson got paid, man.
That's it.
He said, I got a little envelope full of some bread.
Hey,
I needed that. It is what it is.
And probably his life spared.
Yeah, because I don't even gotta confirm. Once it's over, it's over. Like, I'm done. You die. For real. If you don't make it out, that ain't on me. I did my part.
One team, one goal.
I know Carlito. Carlito was so righteous as far as his codes. But when you hear the tape of your man snitching on you and you get offered immunity plus the trip to the Bahamas, everything that you're looking for,
I'm taking that. Fuck it. I'm out. I'll never see you again.
The fact that you heard him on the tapes,
that part.
played a role into that.
Yes, that it would play a part.
Like, I'm so spiteful. I mean, obviously we knew he was gonna get justice. He got street justice for it, but dog, you casually, and it was just so matter as loyal as I've been to you. I was on that fucking boat, and I realized right after you just tossed my name in some investigation like it was nothing. Like, and I just risked everything, bro. Everybody looking for now because of this shit you just did with Tony T.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. That's something I gotta really. Let me call you by noon tomorrow. What you doing, good?
You gotta go.
You gotta go to Bahamas, or you talking about Kleinfeld? Gotta go.
Kleinfeld.
Yeah, he definitely gotta go. But are you taking?
Yeah, I'm taking that damn bow, man. I get a better deal than you, so that's how we're gonna play it.
Yeah, I was going to Bahamas anyway. Y'all read my mind.
Period.
Yeah. Especially if I'm trying to get out the game. Like, I'm out the game. I ain't even trying to get out. I'm out the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, we ain't about that life, y'all. We ain't about that street. So,
About the street life.
What Bernie Mac say? Him to going to jail for another motherfucker?
I don't make no sense.
Shit I ain't even do. That's
great. You ain't paying my bills. You ain't paying my mortgage. You ain't paying my kids. You ain't doing none of that.
Exactly.
You want me to go to jail for you so I can lose all? Nah, bro. Let's think about it. I can see if I was in it with you.
Right.
That's a different. But I know how to prevent myself not to be with you.
Yeah. That's real.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna run through some quotes that I got written down. You already said the first one I had written down, Rachel. Forever's gonna kill you faster than a bullet. You think you're big time, you're gonna fucking die big time just because obviously Hove. I love the exchange between him and Pachanga. I heard about that shit with your cousin. Why didn't you call me so I could watch your ass? Like, that happened a month ago. You just found out? Like, I love Carlito's right response. Like, bro, what are you doing? Fucking kids move a couple ounces, think they're a big shot, make a few bucks in the joint. I gotta respect them. Goes back to that Carlito not respecting that generation. He thinks that, y'all ain't got nothing for me to look to. How can you fuck the only people who ever cared for you? You killed us, Dave. You killed us. You ain't a lawyer no more, Dave. You're a gangster now. And when you can't see the angles no more, you're in trouble, baby.
Yeah.
Carlito couldn't see the angles at the end, and which is shocking for how observant he was. Observation, what the fuck was I saying? Observant.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Hey, you see I cut it ASAP. Hold on, what did I just say?
I put the only thing I ain't have you didn't have is you play pussy, you gonna get fucked, Benny. That's exactly what happened.
Y'all literally said every single thing I have written down, so all of that.
I don't know if this movie has like that famous quote or that untouchable. This is a Carlito's way.
I don't think so either.
I think it was just that whole. I think that whole sequence I talked about earlier with Benny. Like I think that's a classic thing. Like you think you me, like you ain't me.
Yeah.
I know you ain't got nothing, do you?
Damn.
Because you ain't.
Why you like that?
No, because he got nothing in his hands. He got nothing written down.
I was getting ready for the ACTs. But he gonna hit me with multiple choice of who it could be. Well, I have one. Shit, my favorite quote was Carlito's way.
Yeah, so you trying to save face? Yeah, nigga, I was right. Hey, Rachel, stupid.
Man, go. Go.
Singing Stiller. I had Sean Penn. Who you got?
Yes, sir. Sean Penn.
But isn't he not a main character?
He is, but who else really wowed you in this film? That was a secondary.
I guess Benny. I mean, I would say
I got John Leguizamo and Pachanga, Luis Guzman.
Oh, I'm not a fan.
I don't know, man.
Nah, real quick.
I guess Benny, if it was anything, but he's so iconic with this movie. I always look at him as a main character, but rewatching, I'm like, he only had like three scenes. Yeah, so I guess he is an obvious scene stealer in this.
Yeah.
Side note about Luis Guzman. Is that how you say his name?
Guzman.
He's the first person that I ever knew. I'm trying to explain this correctly. When I was younger, he was on America's Most Wanted. He played a reenactment. He did a reenactment, and I didn't know any better. I was like 5 or 6, and he was in something else. And I remember saying to my mom, like, "Mom, that's the killer. That's the killer." And my mom was like,
Lord.
"No, acting." And that was my first explanation to acting.
Oh, like that episode of Martin. When,
Shit, like
that's what's up. I don't even know if I knew that.
Yeah,
My man Good said he got a quote, man. He said, "Fuck y'all."
Yeah.
I got
quotes.
Yeah, give it to us.
What's up? What you got?
Somebody's pulling me close to the ground. I can sense, but I can't see. I ain't panicking. I've been here before.
Yeah. That whole sequence at the end, I can definitely see that.
Like, hey, bro, that's real, because it's like that, the soul of your body just telling you, like that.
It's over. Like,
It's telling you like what's going on. You don't listen to it when you know you need to.
That intuition. It's always real.
That's perfect, man. And then another one. There's only one rule. Save your own ass.
Yeah, he did.
That's real. As much as you want to save somebody else, he ain't gonna save your ass.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody watching your ass.
That's a fact.
got to.
We see that.
Come on, man.
All right.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Amen.
Let me tell you.
We got 2 quotes for your ass, nigga.
Things that bother you. All right, listen.
The movie.
Off, brother.
Yeah, man. Listen. All right. First of all, I know it was 1975. It's not no excuse, but just the creep shit that he was on when he was tracking down Gail. My man was in the rain, top of the roof to peek into the dance class. Like, yo, you want some nut shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's weirdo behavior, my guy.
Oh.
Hey.
Look, Rachel, like,
Come see where I'm at. Come see what I've been up to. Hello?
You know the cause of it. That's what that good sunshine do to you. You get some sunshine, you don't know what to do.
Only
You just want
women-
some more sunshine.
Bruh, only women have that power. Like, for real. Like, that's the only women can make you. Like, did you see that rain? He had the newspaper like it was doing shit over him, looking through the window, like, and still holding up. But he came correct when he actually talked to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up with that real good looking dude? Like, you know, he broke the ice on some shit, but my man, I'm not climbing the roof. Like, the roof in the rain is nuts.
We've already discussed you being too cool.
Nah, that's not even. Come on. That's not even me being on some no. I'll go above and beyond. But that's a little bit. That's a lot. I could just wait for you, like, until you get out. I can wait till you get out. Like, I ain't got to see what you doing in dance class, yo. I ain't got to climb to the top of this roof. Like, I know you in that building. You about to come out. All right, I'm gonna holler at you. But that was a lot.
He had to make sure he didn't know she was in the building. He had a suspicion she was in the building. So he had to check to make sure he was in the right place.
Hey, man, I guess you're right. Because in 1975, if you don't see her, especially in New York City, like if you miss her that time, you ain't never gonna see her again, maybe.
That's it. He just hitting the stomping grounds. He just trying to see if he been gone.
Yeah, ain't no.
Yeah. You had to think about if you.
Yeah, you had to know somebody's routine. Like if you really wanted to find them.
Because think about if it's 2022 and he's seen her and he thought that was her, he'd just inbox her and be like, "Hey, did I just see you somewhere?" And that's just started the conversation.
Not even if he's seen her, that's the first thing he would have done. Like, yo, I'm out.
Yeah,
where you at?
Where you at? Yeah, facts.
Oh, look at the story.
Or look at the story. Look at work where. Yeah. I bet.
Yeah, you know what?
Anyway, Carlito's on some other shit.
That's how they pulling up now.
I guess so.
That's how dudes pulling up. Rachel, that's how they pulling up. Look at the story.
Me too. Come see about me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. He talked about Seinfeld and how he thought this was going to end. Like I don't know how he thought he was going to get away with stealing $1 million from the mob. Yeah, like and think that he was going to be straight. And you killing one. Like, what are you thinking, bro?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug, baby.
That's a fact.
Carlito just having terrible people around him and just choosing loyalty over himself. Like I can't. That's probably my biggest. Like Kleinfeld and Pachanga, the fact that you just didn't see it, like especially there's no excuse for the boat. I don't care what I owe you.
Yeah,
like that's just a little bit too much. Especially when I see if I come and I see you coked out, I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
I'm just not. Especially when I'm this close to getting to where I need to be. And at that point, did he know Gail was pregnant? I can't remember.
No,
he wasn't a kid.
But still, man, that was just wild to me. Especially with how I think it bothers me so much because he knew better. He spent this whole movie preaching to other people about how the game goes and how he knows.
Ain't that how it always works? I mean, our parents tell us all the time.
Yeah, he said earlier, that whole scene I talked about earlier when he said that happened a month ago. You just now finding out, like that Kleinfeld guy, like you mean Kleinfeld, like I hope you're doing a better job with him than you are with me. Like he knew Pachango waiting on it. Like cut your ties, man. But what he kept telling about him, that guy's like my brother.
Whatever. You know what though too, and I just thought about this in that scene, the second scene where the Steffi situation, Pachanga runs behind Benny when everybody gets to tussling a little bit. Pachanga runs behind Benny. Oh. He don't go to Carlito's side. So loyalty right there. He should have seen it then. Like, why is you running behind this nigga? You was literally just sitting. That'd be like. You just go to the other, like, hold on, wait a minute.
That don't even make sense.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy about that whole thing, though, on some just real stuff? Like, you go through that, like, cats like a famous person or somebody in the alpha or the leader, they click, they got all the power, so it's easy. Everybody want to be around that power. Everybody want to enjoy that time. But when shit, little Rockies, a new wave come in, and you ain't doing popping on like they think you is, they quick to go to another wave. And that's the whole thing. It's like you seeing how your friends is acting once you trying to get out.
Yeah. They going on to the next wave.
Yeah, I ain't even about to say what I was about to say because the whole podcast gets shut down. We get canceled, but I ain't gonna say it. The escape from prison, like we already talked about that. I hate, this is a very small nitpick thing, but I really hate this in television and movies. I hate when people leave the door open, like the main door.
Yeah, like that is a pet peeve of mine.
So obviously when he goes to Gail's apartment and she's the whole little, cosplay shit they doing, and he busts open the door and gets to her, like, bro, close the door. Like, I know that's very small and that's nitpicky, but that really pisses me off. Like, close the door so y'all can get what y'all need to do without any kind of worry. And
I didn't mind the audience.
And the last thing I had written down was, for observant as Carlito was, it really, really, really bothers me that he did not spot Vinny from the hospital. Because he specifically said that badge doesn't go with that face. You know what I mean? So when we saw him at the hospital, he said that about that. Like, when he was going to go to Kleinfeld for the last time.
Yeah. So
when you see him at the club, immediately I think somebody with as much, because he showed us the entire movie, he was smart and observant. Yeah. From the pool scene, he showed us that. Like, you don't recognize that's the same person to the point where that's the really first slip up all movie.
But didn't he come in after the fact? After he had already talked to them Italian bosses.
Who? Yeah, he came in after, like because remember they told him like I want to introduce you to somebody. Yeah. But my point is, you saw him earlier that night at the hospital. Like you made a point. The movie made a point to let us know
that he saw.
I know that face doesn't match that cop uniform.
Yeah.
So automatically, and we already know how observant you are. We see what's going on, and later on, when I see you in the club, I just forget that I saw that face a few hours ago. You know what I mean? Like that's just. I don't know. That's just really hard for me to get past.
Oh, I didn't take it like he forgot that that's who that was, because you remember, okay, so we met. I felt like he was playing it cool. Again, I got to get upstairs and get my money. Like he already was on his way. He knew that it was some funny shit. That's why he went through that little tunnel door. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like he knew some shit was afoot. So he was not oblivious.
I guess what I'm saying, not oblivious. What I'm saying is he gave himself up. As soon as you said I haven't seen Kleinfeld, that part is specifically is what I'm talking about. When he said
got it. Okay.
Haven't talked or whatever, and you just saw this dude at the hospital.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And now he's here. That's not a coincidence. Like I should choose something else to say. Or be quiet at all. Like he's too smart and too much of an OG for that. And I guess the last thing that I really have, I need you to have a contingency plan. Like if this don't go how we say it's gonna go, this is plan B. Mm-hmm. If I'm not at the train station by this time, go. And I'm gonna meet you here, or whatever the case may be. Because that was a lot of rushing and a lot of running and a lot of nonsense for I can just dodge these dudes for one night. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then catch the next train smoking, whatever I need to do to get to her. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said, that might be a nitpick. There was just a lot of stuff in this film that I'm like, man, it did not have to go like this.
Yeah.
The thing about it with Carlito during that time, like when you think about it, they paint the picture where he kind of forgets about my man Benny. Like he forgets about like that's the last thing on his mind. Like he just went through this stuff with Tony T. Like, sure, I'm about to get got by these guys. Yeah. Like I ain't even worried about. And for he just thinking it's all smooth.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, like it's one of them things like, dang, bro. Like if I would have slowed down,
you could have seen it all.
Could have seen it all, but like, man, that face didn't match the badge. I had to dip out because of this.
What's the last quote I had? What Carlito said, when you can't see the angles, you in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You couldn't see them. So spot on with that. Any actors from The Wire? Nope. Wouldn't let that happen to me. All I had written down was, there's no way I'm letting Benny talk to me like that. Like Benny's sidekick, his right hand.
Oh, yeah.
Get the chair, bitch. Pay the tab, bitch. Get your old ass up. Like, nah, man.
And in front of company?
In front of company, in front of women, in front of the women? Mm-hmm. Nah, man.
He was showing out.
Yeah, man. I'm not going, man. I'm just not going. Like, I don't want to be part of nobody organization like that.
That's it.
You got anything for that category, bro? I don't want to be.
I gotta be a bitch to be part of this clique. Nah, I'm cool.
Mac around and shit. Like, nah, bro. Like, I'm a grown man.
Gotta go.
Let me get into some trivia, and then we'll go ahead and wrap some things up. Rachel, I don't know if you knew this. Al Pacino and Penelope Ann Miller were romantically involved while filming.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't. They didn't have any like special chemistry. So
you ready for it to get better?
I was about to say, tell me the best part.
You ready for it to get better? Penelope Ann Miller was going around in interviews talking about the relationship. Al Pacino had a whole girlfriend. He was in a relationship with Lyndall Hobbs. And he went to the premiere with Lyndall Hobbs and avoided Penelope Miller completely. Like, act like she wasn't even there. And the funny thing about the whole situation is he asked her to co-star. He specifically asked her to be the co-star in the film. He wanted it. Hey, he was method actor. Mm-hmm.
He's a huge method actor.
That's all it was, man. He said, yeah, I'm going to structure.
He found the bitch that he wanted to fuck with. And she blew up the spot.
Mm-hmm. She talking about an interview. My man said, man, I'm breaking my girl, and I don't know you when we here. Mm-hmm. Hey, Al Pacino,
like
man.
He gamed her up. So you stick with me, you'll get a nod.
Mm-hmm.
Get you a nod.
Al Pacino and Sean Penn had trouble with the hospital scene. They both felt that Carlito wouldn't come back to the hospital. They just didn't feel that's something that character would do. Like I said, it goes into my, I guess, things that bother me. Alan Dershowitz, who I think our generation knows from the OJ trial, he's been involved with a lot of trials. He was sued, or he threatened a lawsuit against the character Kleinfeld, or the movie for the character Kleinfeld. They thought it was based around him. And if you see pictures of him in the back in the day, he looks like that. Yeah. So they was just trying to say something, but it ain't about him. Brian De Palma, he wanted to film the climax in the train station. He wanted to film that at the World Trade Center, but it had the 1990, I think 2 or 3 bombing at the World Trade Center.
Okay.
So they had to do it at the train station. And let's see. That might be really about it. Oh, according to Brian De Palma, Sean Penn demanded 30 takes of the shot where Kleinfeld was asking Carlito to help him with Tony T's escape. And when De Palma told him to move on to the next shot, Penn screamed at De Palma. He continued to yell at him on the ride back to New York City. He said De Palma, he later on called him and continued to yell at him. So it goes back to what I said. Sean Penn was intense. Like, if he didn't get what he wanted from a specific film or shots perspective, he was gonna let you know. That's famous about him in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But, he said that's the only argument he had on film. That's the only argument De Palma had was with Sean Penn, and he let him have it all day. So, Carlito's Way, man.
Classic.
Too high, too low, just right. 7.9 is what most users are rated. Good. 7.9 out of 10. Too high, too low, just right.
Man, you know, I'm putting that thing at a 9.5, man.
Ooh.
Give me 9.5. It's just cause, man. It's just like I was talking. When I was a small kid in high school, it taught me a lot about life and situations and that instinct. It taught me a lot of stuff. The way I move to this day, I feel like Carlito shaped me in that way.
I think the fact that you watched it at that time, those formative years are very, because there's certain movies I've seen at that time nobody can tell me about.
Yep.
And I know they don't feel the same way about it. So I can respect that. It's cool. What you got?
7.9. That's a little too high for me. I'll say a 7.
Ray P?
Definitely too high for me. I'm gonna give that. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Man, y'all psychics, man.
Feel me? Do I know her or do I know?
Don't say it was a 6.
I literally whispered. I said she about to give it a 6. 7.9, a little too high for me. I'm going 7.5.
Okay.
Because mixed with what Good said, just because of all the lessons and everything you can learn from it, and like I said, just I don't know. It's like a rites of passage film. It's one of those you gotta see, and it's not a, like I said, for all the holes it has in it. I can watch it again. Not often as, like I said, as a Goodfellas or a Casino or something like that, but I can definitely watch it again. So,
Casino.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that. I think this is the first gangster film that we've done on the pod. Mm-hmm. So we'll have
gangster film.
Yeah, I would consider it a gangster film.
Yeah,
like it's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. Gangster is an occupation more so than a background. Goes out there.
Yeah,
so
gangsters, what's up, guys?
You know what I mean? Like, because I forgot about this gangster film. Like, Scarface, all those gangster films. Boys in the Hood. I don't know. Yeah, I guess you could call it that. But either way, we'll do more of these. Good. We appreciate you coming on.
Yes.
Thank you, man. We use Mama Goody Studios to record here in Cincinnati. So it was good to have you on. I'm sure we can have you back on for something else.
Man, appreciate it, man. Anytime,
Sound like Casino.
Shit. Hey, Casino. Hey, now Casino. Oh my gosh, man. You talking about stuff that bothers you. God dang, every scene bothers you. Like
you can
that's my
movie. You can have a whole episode about Ginger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ginger.
I'm scared. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of scared to do Casino, man. I'm scared of what I might say.
You don't want to with Ginger, boy.
Yeah, man. Ginger, man. But all y'all out there, appreciate y'all. Like, can't say enough. Thank you for continuing to let us do our thing. Mm-hmm. Next week, I think we're gonna probably take a week off for Thanksgiving. Just so people can have time with their families, enjoy it, relax, and we're gonna start the top of December with something fresh for y'all. We got a couple movies already lined up that we're gonna do. And the indies, you're right. Best Man Holiday coming soon. Not Holiday. What's the one they call it?
Vacation.
Final Chapters.
Final chapter.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we definitely. So all the Best Man fans out there, end of the year, that's supposed to come out on Peacock. You know, Coach Garden will definitely be covering that. And we'll look forward to wrapping up this year with y'all. So y'all be cool. Y'all be cool. Peace.
Out.